Heroes of Fantasy Football podcast.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Christopher Felice, and welcome to another episode of the Heroes of Fantasy Football podcast. Finally, I can speak. I am your host. I am joined by Matt High. Matt, how are we doing today?
Doing as good as I can be. Fun week of football coming up. Week 10. Can you believe that we're 7 weeks away from the championship game? Which hopefully I'm part of this year. It's been a long time coming, but just keep chugging away, moving some players around, making some trades, or trying to make other trades. Just keep pushing. How about you? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I did pretty good this week in fantasy. A vampire update for all of you. Last week I didn't have anything. I actually didn't win, even though I wasn't here. But this week I did win, and I got Saquon Barkley. So another fine addition to my arsenal.
I hear he's pretty good.
Yeah, so do I. I hear he's backwards hurdling, making people do double takes. I hear he's an athletic freak. So I'm happy to have him on my team.
Such a wild play.
I love. There's like a meme out there of him like jumping up and like doing like the back thing, and just like two receivers are just like their heads are just down like in the dirt, like just stick in. It's so funny, funny.
Pretty good.
But so pretty fantastic there. My running back core is actually now Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. So I feel really funny right now. But yeah, anyway, enough about that. Let's get in with the show. First, before we get on to our regularly scheduled programming, we actually got some trade targets we want to talk about today. Matt, why don't you hit us up with your trade targets in your redraft?
Sure thing. So my trade target, I kind of mentioned it in the previous episode, but I'm going to go with the Bucs running backs. This also can extend to Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans. Just go get the Bucs. So speaking just on behalf of the running backs, they have the 49ers this week, and then they head into a bye. So why would you want to trade for them? Upon emerging from the bye, they're going to face the Giants, the Panthers, the Raiders, Chargers, Cowboys, and the Panthers again in Week 17. Those defenses rank against the running back position 15th, 32nd, 22nd, then the second with the Chargers. They're really good. Then back up to 31st and 32nd. So a stellar playoff schedule. Considering the number of weapons they're missing from this offense right now, they're going to be heavily utilized. I understand that we all had a feeling that Rachaad White was probably going to start losing his job to Bucky Irving. Well, you did. Yeah, I know you stand pat on that.
I was steadfast.
He's kind of, you have to admit, he has lost part of the rushing work to Bucky. But what he lost there, he's making up in the receiving game. So he's going to be an integral part of the game plan every week. So looking at Bucky and Rachaad White, they have the potential to lead the team to victory. And both of them are going to be really, really good down the home stretch. It doesn't matter which one you want. I think they're both going to be perfectly fine. I traded for Rachaad White just because he was a little bit cheaper at the time. So whichever one you can get a cheaper deal on, go for it because they're both going to smash.
Dare I say that Rachaad White is the better Jerick McKinnon from the Chiefs when he was the pass catching running back? Dare I say? We thought like that was like really, really good. Like when you think of pass catching running backs, I'm not including Christian McCaffrey in the conversation because he can do both very effectively. I mean solely pass catching, right? That was kind of a Jerick McKinnon thing. Not great on the run, but like he was he just catches passes. I think that's grammatically correct.
I think so too.
Yeah, it sounds weird. But yeah, no, I dare I say he's better. But moving on to my trade target for the rest of the season here, I got Jaden Reed on the Packers. Now, a bit of a weird situation. He's currently ranked 7th overall in half PPR leagues, with a couple, and I literally mean a couple. I'm meaning like 2 weeks, week 1 and week 4, kind of carrying that stat total right now. Okay, use that to your advantage. I think this only goes up from there. He's on a bye this week 10 bye. Another great reason to kind of like pick him up. Maybe you got like a guy in your league, very fringe playoff, maybe dealing with an injury, need someone to fill a hole, didn't do well in the waivers this week, and definitely need someone to pick him up. This is it. Or definitely need someone to fill in that hole. Sorry, I don't know why I said pick him up. That was weird, but this is the time to do it, right? Snipe him now. Definitely, I feel you definitely used to advantage. It's only like 2 weeks carrying him at that like number 7 type of rank that will definitely kind of even out a bit if you take those out. Uh, the rest of his schedule, he's got Chicago next week and then San Francisco. Those are tough. And then the rest, you got Miami, Detroit, Seattle, New Orleans, and then Minnesota. Up to 17. That's pretty much the end of fantasy football right there for most people. Very decent to good matchups. And with Jordan Love at the helm, as long as he's playing, very big if here, as long as he's not injured, this looks really good. I like him a lot.
I love that pick. I think Jaden Reed's one of these players that it doesn't really matter where he lines up on the field. He's just going to get the work. And, I do think them going into the bye this week, it's going to really help Jordan Love. He's going to have another a week off to rest, get back to, doing what he does best. And Jaden Reed is the unquestioned wide receiver 1 of the Packers offense. And they're pretty high flying offense. They're pretty good. So Jaden Reed, tying yourself to him to the end of the year, I think that's a really, really good idea.
And with that being said, why don't we get on to our regularly scheduled programming? We have our starts for the week.
Let's do it.
Matt, start us off. What do you got for us?
All right. This is the time where I know we just had that drop. We're doing another one because my start of the week is none other than
Kirko Chains.
Kirko Chains himself. Kirk Cousins going against the New Orleans Saints. He's about to face a weakened Saints defense that just traded away its best player, Marshawn Lattimore. Drake London right now is currently battling a hip injury, but Darnell Mooney is having a stellar year in Atlanta right now. In fact, he currently ranks as the wide receiver 12 in half PPR leagues, which blew my mind because it didn't feel like it. But he also has Bijan Robinson, who is currently ranked 3rd in targets, 2nd in receptions, and 3rd in receiving yardage among running backs. Considering these, I'm just going to sit there and slam Cousins in the lineup because he's got this favorable matchup, and there's just things moving in the right direction for the Falcons. And I think this is a week where in division game, which is something I tend to try to target in fantasy because it usually leads to some higher scoring games, the Saints look bad. I know if you look at your app, it's going to show it as red, that they're good against quarterbacks. They're good. This is a completely different team now, so you can throw that out the door because it's not going to matter. You can't trade away your best player and have it not translate into the opposing team you're playing to just get more fantasy points. So target Kirk Cousins this week. Set him in your lineup. I'm playing him over Patrick Mahomes in my one Superflex league, which shouldn't be a surprise to most people, but if it is, then go get that deal. Go do it. Be bold.
Be bold. So funny. I think you also have chose Kirk Cousins or the Kirko Chains so you could use the drop. I'm convinced anytime you have
it's not a reason to do it, but this is the matchup. I love it.
Fair enough. I'm going to hop on into my quarterback start of the week. I got Jared Goff going up against the Houston Texans. Last week against Green Bay, a lot of the run game was on display there. Didn't really leave a lot of room for Jared Goff. He threw 28. He had 22 attempts, 18 completions, which is like fine when you look at like the percentage. It just kind of is unfortunate. It kind of went out to 145 yards and one touchdown. Those aren't the greatest, right? I'm not saying, they are by any means, but like the team is just so good. They kind of just, move on every cylinder known to man. That's just kind of how this works. When you have a good team, you're gonna have off days with some of your players, unfortunately. With that being said, however, going into Houston this upcoming week, I've heard good things about Nico Collins. I think there's a good chance he's going to play, which means that offense with CJ Stroud, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Joe Mixon, very, very, very highly powered. Probably a little more than the Green Bay offense, in my opinion. I think the pieces on Houston are better, which means, at least to me, this is what it signals to me, they'll have more opportunities to pass because they need to drive the ball much further down the field. And a lot faster and a lot more efficiently. Running against one team's not going to work against the next week team when that team has almost like an upgraded roster at every offensive position, in a sense there, dare I say. So I think Jared Goff will probably end up throwing more deep passes. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown will also have a good week this week as well in conjunction with that. So yeah, I feel safe starting Jared Goff this week. I do.
Yeah, last week was also pretty bad weather game for anyone that watched it. It was raining sideways, so they leaned heavily on the running game, which is something that is kind of a concern for the Lions, just because they could just turn off the passing game and be like, yep, we're just going to run 40 times. But I think this is a week where there should be a lot of points back and forth, and I think that's going to be a great call. I'm going to jump into my running backs here. My running back start of the week is going to be Tyrone Tracy going against the Carolina Panthers. That is the Germany game, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So set your lineups. Just want to make sure everyone knows that. But I got a question for you, Chris. Where do you think Tyrone Tracy stands as a fantasy running back since week 5? Got a guess?
15. Top 15.
He is the RB13 since week 5. Despite the Giants' offense just being inconsistent, unpredictable, Tracy has just been undoubtedly a bright spot for them. With Singletary struggling, Tracy sees that opportunity to take over the backfield, and now we have a Panthers 32nd ranked rush defense on tap in Germany. Tracy has been fortunate enough to see at least 18 opportunities per game since week 5. He's just the only standout in this backfield, and I anticipate a huge, huge boom performance in week 10. Sorry, this is just gonna be one of those times where you just start him, and he should really help you out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I love Tyrone Tracy. I love the prospect of Tyrone Tracy for like the rest of the season. I think it's a lot of fun. I think for like the first time, the Giants did something right by giving this kid an opportunity. And I truthfully hope he kind of fleshes himself out into this role. Sorry, wrong fancy F word right there. So yeah, I'm really, really hoping he finds that stable piece, because we could really use the replacement from Saquon Barkley leaving. I'm not saying he's Saquon Barkley. I'm just saying that a comparable running back. Yeah, I mean,
Saquon Barkley might not be Saquon Barkley. He probably has imposter syndrome. Just looking like,
at this point, I'm not even sure. Yeah, he looks better than he ever has before, which really goes to say on how bad the Giants are. But I'm going to ignore that. And I'm going to go into my running back start of the week, which, funny enough, is Chuba Hubbard in that Germany game again. Our other opposing guy here from what you said here. I mean, kind of for the same. I mean, defense bad. So just kind of slam the running back and call it a day. I know Jonathan Brooks is coming back. I know that's kind of like the plan. I don't anticipate him taking all of the load immediately. I think they're going to ease it in. They need to figure out actually how. I mean, this is the first time he's really going to play for them in an actual capacity. The first time they're actually going to be able to see what he is capable of. So I think they will keep Chuba in for this week at like the full capacity he's had. They'll have the bye week at week 11. Anything after that, a toss-up. I'm not sure what's going to happen there. But I think this week, especially against a bad New York Giants defense, this is a fair start. I'm slamming the gavel down. Touchdown guarantee. You heard it here first.
All right, I like the touchdown guarantee. I don't know if Jonathan Brooks is on deck to play this week. I know they had to activate him off of IR this week, otherwise he was going to be put on the shelf till next year. So they opened up the practice window, so he has 21 days, I believe, to join the team and play. So that's I agree. I think Jonathan Brooks is not, even if he does play this week, he's not going to eat into Chuba Hubbard's role, I think, just because why would you take this player who's coming off of a major injury and throw him against the Giants? That doesn't sound very smart to me. So I agree.
I will say, sorry, before you go, I will say, if you had the opportunity to and you haven't really done so yet, I would have already traded for Jonathan Brooks if you have Chuba Hubbard. You kind of struck lightning in a bottle here with Chuba Hubbard, and the last thing you want is for it to leave because, I don't know, the Panthers are being stupid and playing Jonathan Brooks, I don't know, weeks 15, 16, and 17 during your redraft playoffs, right? Which shouldn't happen because he's doing so well, but you'd be surprised at what some of these franchises can do. The Cowboys traded a 4th-round pick for Jonathan Mingo. Half of you, actually, no, 75% of you probably have no idea who that is. And he was worth more than DeAndre Hopkins, who got traded for the 5th. Keep that in mind. I want you to keep that in mind. So yeah,
I don't know what Jerry's doing over there, but keep doing it because it's great for us.
Nobody can do better than Jerry Jones at GMing the org, according to him.
Yeah,
anyway,
of course.
Anyway,
self-proclaimed expert. We're gonna move over to wide receivers. My wide receiver this week is gonna be Khalil Shakir going against the Indianapolis Colts. This man is just simply unstoppable on the football field. He catches almost everything thrown his way, leading all wide receivers with an impressive 95.5% catch percentage. He has 2 passes that led to incompletions this entire season. He's only missed 2. That's it. The entire season. We're heading into week 10. Keon Coleman right now is currently dealing with an injury. Amari Cooper was out last week. I don't know how serious his injury is going to be. This wide receiver is just crucial to this team. For those of you who have been with us for any point, before the season, you'll recall that Shakir was very highly sought after as far as a draft pick for some of us here, just because of the availability of other targets. They had a ton of vacated targets this season, and a lot of them are going to him. The Colts defense has been very, very vulnerable. They allowed the Vikings to just completely destroy them last week through the air, and I'm just going to anticipate a similar performance from them this week. So Khalil Shakir, Josh Allen, I think they're going to be in for a huge, huge day.
Yeah, no, I can most definitely see it. That is definitely not out of the realm of possibility. Are you going to put a touchdown guarantee on that one?
I'm not, just because I know what happens with Josh Allen when you put the touchdown guarantee on, because I did that with James Cook the one time, and he's like, nah, I got this. Or, who's James Cook? We're just going to throw the ball all over the place.
You heard it here first. His touchdown guarantees, all the NFL players here, they know. They know Matt High. Okay.
Yeah, me and the Bills don't get along very well, so.
Oh, funny.
Never forget.
Moving on to my wide receiver start of the week, I got Xavier Worthy going up against the Broncos. Now, I know it sounds pretty terrifying, considering that DeAndre Hopkins just had that fantastic week last week. Pat Surtain is there. He's always terrifying. We were actually just talking about this before the show. He didn't look like he wasn't covering Zay Flowers that much. Didn't have that impact, which is a little weird.
And stupid.
Yeah. Once again, the Ravens beating themselves by not doing what Ravens usually do. It happens every year. But no, sorry. Sorry, not the Ravens. I meant the Broncos. Same story though. It's the same story.
I was going to say, the Ravens destroyed them. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Moving on. My apologies. On that end, I believe if there was a wide receiver to cover, it is probably going to be DeAndre Hopkins. This will leave a wide open door for Xavier Worthy. I don't think he's going to have like an insane, stellar, like over 100 receiving yards game, but I am going to give you the touchdown guarantee on here as well, because I do believe that this is a very, very interesting scenario. I'm not doing this because of the caliber of Xavier Worthy. Well, I believe he's a fantastic player, a good talent. I think he has a clear future within this team. That's not the reason why I'm doing this. The reason why is because the Chiefs are 8-0. Chasing the undefeated season is now something you have to kind of consider when you are playing guys on the Chiefs. Instantaneously, Travis Kelce is looking fantastic now. DeAndre Hopkins is great. Kareem Hunt looking fantastic. I mean, he had that like last minute game winning touchdown that saved me in a league. I'm sure it saved other people in a couple leagues. You know, like they're willing to do what it takes, which usually means they're willing to do any like many different avenues to try and win games, right? So if Surtain covers DeAndre Hopkins, that leaves the door wide open for Xavier Worthy. That's kind of what I'm going for here when I'm starting him this week. This is like a flex option. I wouldn't even do this as wide receiver 2. This is your flex option for injury by sort of cover spots here, okay? If you have other options that are better, go for it. But if you don't, I think this is a probably worthwhile pick. You're probably going to get like 12 points from this guy.
I can see it. I'm going to move us to tight end with Taysom Hill going against the Atlanta Falcons. Now, we're going to paint a little picture here for you, okay? Dennis Allen's gone. Chris Olave probably going to miss a couple weeks with a concussion. Thank you, Derek Carr. Rashid Shaheed on IR. Bub Means on IR. Kendra Miller, guess what? On IR. This is a full rebuild incoming. There's no one left. It's literally Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill.
Alvin Kamara is all they need.
That is it. It's it. Hill and Kamara are about to break some records for offensive opportunities by a million. All right, they could combine each for 50% of the plays, each one of them. Because who else is going to go to? Derek Carr's not running. He can't throw the ball unless it's to Alvin Kamara or to Taysom Hill 4 yards down the field. This is one of those situations where the volume is going to be there, and at tight end with this team, like someone's got to do something. This is where I definitely want to start Taysom Hill.
I think that's fair, especially given the void of offensive options that the Saints have, as you pointed out before.
Guess what? Someone else went on IR.
What?
It's just what the Saints do. They're just...
I'm like, wait. It was like, just in, new notification. Oh, funny. Moving on, I'm gonna go into my tight end start of the week. I got Hunter Henry. Definitely not the exciting pick. We had him on our waiver show. Still like, I don't know, what was it, like 30% 37% rostered. I don't know what are you guys doing? Just pick him up. Like he just gets targets. Drake May looks comparable, good. Dare I might say. Yeah, like I know he's going against Chicago, which is a good defense, but like he didn't get targets. 7 points is fine. He got 7 against the Jets. I mean, they're a good defense. This is just a safe pick. I don't feel like I don't have to do too much justice here. I'm just going for safety.
Yeah, I mean, he's been on a waiver show, I feel like, all season long. His roster percentage like never changes. It goes up and it goes down like a little bit. He goes between like 20% and 40%, and then that's it. He doesn't live anywhere else.
What are you doing?
But yeah,
Pick him up.
I mean, he's been good. He's been good. And tight end's been pretty rough, so I'll take it.
Yeah, we will. We definitely will. But with that being said, that's our starts for the week. So let's move on to our sits. All right, Matt, kick us off. Who are you sitting this week?
This one, it might not be a full sit, just because I don't know if you can because of where what he's been doing and his role in the offense. But I'm gonna put a little cold water on Tony Pollard going against the LA Chargers this week. Chargers defense is really stingy to opposing running backs. So far in the season, they averaged about 11.8 fantasy points per game allowed to the running back position. Right now, it's really just Tony Pollard. I don't think there's really anyone else. I don't care about Tajay Spears. I don't care about the other guy that's there. They're just a really rough team to watch. Is Rudolph better than Levis? Maybe. Does it matter? Probably not. Pollard's going to get the volume, but I just don't think he's going to be able to be efficient enough to give you a really good week. And like, even if he gets 20 carries, he might not hit 50, 60 yards, which I'd rather shoot for, a Tyrone Tracy or someone else you got on waivers and play them over Tony Pollard, because he's also a little banged up right now too. So I think if you can't sit him, just don't expect as much from him. I mean, it's fantasy football. He could fall into the end zone and then your week is saved, but it's just not something you want to bank on. So if you do play him, just try to maybe inject a little bit of volatility into the rest of your lineup. Maybe pick someone with a little bit more boom potential, just to counteract that. That's all.
No, I think that's fair. I think that makes sense. I'm gonna move on to my sit of the week here. I got DJ Moore going up against New England. More specifically, Christian Gonzalez. Last week, very disjointed from the Bears. Not really sure what was going on there. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Some rumors of coach shenanigans of losing the locker room. DJ Moore running off the sideline, middle of the play. Caleb Williams not looking too good. It looks a bit of like regression is happening, at least for the past couple weeks. And while Caleb Williams might have a bounce back week this week, going against New England overall, Christian Gonzalez is definitely a threat that will most likely cover DJ Moore, unfortunately. And if you got both a disjointed offense and a Christian Gonzalez covering DJ Moore, you do not want any of that in your lineup. I'll be honest with you, that is like the recipe for like a goose egg or like 1 point, and you don't want that. So I would err on the side of caution, sit him, start somebody else. There are plenty of options that you can pick up on free waivers. That would make more sense as of right now.
I'm looking now. Didn't they play? Never mind. Okay, I thought they played the Jets when Robert Saleh got fired. I was like, is this going to be a trend? Where you play the Patriots, you lose to the Patriots, and then you get canned the next week.
Funny.
But it was not. It was October 26th that they got fired. No, wait. No, what is that?
No, I don't believe they haven't played the Jets yet.
Gotcha. Okay.
I just thought
that would have been really funny if that was the case.
Would have been.
But yeah, so I like that pick.
Well, that's not true. No. That's sorry. I thought you meant the Bears playing the Jets. No, sorry. I agree. I don't believe the Patriots were that game that they got fired. I don't think.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, I don't believe that's.
We'd have to go back.
Looking at the wrong schedule. Yeah. Looking at the wrong schedule. Finish your point though. Sorry.
But yeah, no. The Bears, man. I don't get it. Caleb started to look good, and then the Fail Mary happened, and everyone's like, oh, well, that's the reason why they're not good. It's like, no, I think there's something else going on. The coach clearly, I think, lost the locker room. DJ Moore has always been on the side of, I don't know why we need another quarterback. Just, Justin Fields was doing fine for him. But nope, we gotta get a new quarterback. And so I don't know if it's that stemming into the season now or what's going on, but it's been really rough.
I'm gonna quickly say something on that point, right? I think I was on the side like way early on of saying like that they should just trade the first overall pick to bolster more of their line with another pick or like defense, anything. Like there were so many ways that they could have fixed everything up with Justin Fields. DJ Moore was number 6 overall last year as a wide receiver. Like that doesn't happen by accident. Like there were definitely things going on there. within that offense. And yeah, just throw it all away. Definitely seems a little weird. Definitely a bit of a miscalculation. I think some would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I'll say on that.
I did look it up. They played the Minnesota Vikings and they lost, and that was what got Salah canned.
I would honestly, Sam Darnold beating you, definitely that makes sense. Kidding.
Yeah.
Especially when he
Prodigal
was
son
definitely down.
returned.
Yeah, no, literally. Yeah, he came back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
Oh, fun. Anywho, that's going to do it for us this week. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, follow, like, share, whatever else, whatever platform you're on. Thank you guys for watching. Stick around with us. We hope you're enjoying this, our content. We always have fun, good time. Please look out for more episodes coming up soon as we head on to, the kind of nearing the end here of the fantasy football season. We hope you guys are doing well. And without further ado, we hope you all have a great night and a good luck in your next week of fantasy. Unless, of course, you're facing me. In that case, too bad.
Yeah.
But no, in all seriousness, good luck, y'all. Have an awesome night.
See you later.
Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the Heroes of Fantasy Football podcast. Follow us on Twitter at TheHeroesFF.